You are listening to 93.9 Dublin South FM.
Broadcasting from the Dundrum Town Centre, this is Dublin South FM.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining in. Yesterday, an important decision by Honorable Supreme Court of India was delivered, which have serious consequences, positive one, on the politics of India and especially in states like Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. I am talking here about Bulldozer justice, and for the benefit of all, I would like to discuss this matter from 2 points of view. First of all, I will give the highlights of yesterday's decision by the Honorable Supreme Court, and secondly, I will discuss the bulldozer issue from the point of view of idea of justice in India. The bench of Honorable Supreme Court, Justice Gawai and Justice Vishwanathan, came down very strongly to the bulldozer justice system, flagging it as extrajudicial in nature. In delivering the judgment, the Supreme Court applied the basic principle, as I would say, the rule of law. The court said that the rule of law is very foundation of our democratic governance. Also, the court said that the rights are guaranteed under the constitution that provides for protection of an individual from arbitrary state action. Then the court went on to say that they have to look at this case from the fairness point of view also, and fairness in the criminal justice system. The court said that the legal process should take its own course and that should not prejudge the guilt of the accused. Further, the court talked about the concept of segregation of powers, so that means what the officials can do and cannot do, and stressed upon the idea that the doctrine of public trust has to be honored when it comes to the officials of the government. The court came heavily on the officials and they set a clear boundary between the executive and the judiciary, saying that the executives cannot replace the judiciary, so they cannot take decision of punishing anybody on their own. So why is all this happening? That's because we all know that a popular bulldozer justice system prevailed in Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh, and it was being targeted on a minority community. And this was more to establish a kind of quick justice system, also to gain popularity by the politicians, saying that they are strong in bringing about discipline. The accused, their properties were damaged, and not only did it affect the accused, who at the time didn't even go for the trial, but also to the family members and others who were related to that property. So many were in favor of bulldozer justice. That's because it offered immediate solution to the issue of crime, corruption and public disorder. And in the areas where the crime is rampant or the law enforcement is slow and inefficient, the bulldozer justice system was seen as a powerful deterrent. This is my take. The real problem is not with the bulldozer justice or with the crime committed by an individual. It is the speed, it is the inefficiency of the legal process, our judicial process, that is harming the fabric of the society. Suppose a person's crime came under trial in 1 week's time, and after the due process, within 1 month, the accused gets the verdict of guilty or not guilty. Would then the bulldozer justice prevail? So the problem is somewhere else, and we as a nation are discussing something else. And interestingly, on the middle ground, the politicians are taking advantage to create a popularity of their own. So basically, the officials were trying to portray the bulldozer justice as a swift action. And in a way, they were trying to create an atmosphere where individuals might think twice before committing any illegal action. And in a way, as a byproduct, the officials were trying to create a safer community overall. This was a display, a demonstration of a direct and forceful action against the accused, alleged criminals or protesters, and because of the optics, because of the display, it aligned to a utilitarian approach of justice, where the end result, which is like deterring the crime and restoring social order, that justifies the mean. So the perceived fear or the deterrence effect was the envisaged outcome, for the potential wrongdoers in future. Also, the bulldozer justice was an alternative to slow legal process. So as we know, India's legal system is prone to delays. There are cases which drag on to the court for decades together. And we know today that there are people, politicians, activists who are in jail without even a trial. And so I was reading a case about Gulfisha Fatima, and she has been in prison without trial for 4 years and more. And this was for the protest during the Delhi riots. So the legal process have become the punishment for these people. Rather, the system is being accused of using the legal process, the slow legal process, as a tool for retaliation. The bulldozer justice also tried to restore faith in government's willingness to crack down on crime and corruption. And that is where it gained popularity in these two states. So if you see, all this comes like a typical Bollywood movie where the hero wants to bring justice, takes law in his own hand, and destroys the property, kills the villain without having a reference of the law of the land, like the expectation from a Bollywood movie protagonist that the public of India started to like the bulldozer justice. But that is not how the idea of justice would like to work in a democratic governance. In the first place, the due process and the fair trial rights of the individual is getting violated. And that is the foundational principle of justice, that until an individual is proven guilty, that individual is innocent. So the bulldozer justice undermines this, and by punishing people without a fair hearing, a clear evidence, or even a judicial oversight, this is only a violation of the fundamental principles on which this country rests. If you see closely, the bulldozer justice is also about a punishment before proof. When the court said that there has to be a boundary between the executive, the government officials, and the judiciary, they were also highlighting that the bulldozer justice cannot be a tool of targeting specific groups. So what has happened is that suppose there were 5 houses in a row and they were all illegally constructed. Now the bulldozer comes and demolishes only 2 houses of the accused as in assumed accused, while the other 3 houses, though illegally constructed, remain where they were. So there is an arbitrariness within arbitrariness, and that is misleading the society, detrimental to the society. It actually undermines the rule of law, and it erodes the very foundation of the legal system and the judiciary in the country. This also sends a very dangerous message that the state can bypass its own law and in order to achieve immediate results, gain popularity, political popularity. Look at the other side also. The bulldozer demolishing the property not only affects the accused who may be proven innocent subsequently, but for now it has affected the entire families and the neighborhood. And destroying a family home due to one person's alleged involvement in a crime, it is actually disproportionately harming the innocent family members and the children in a irreversible way. So the entire family is the sufferer for the alleged wrongdoing of one person, and that too without adequate proof. If you see it from the higher principles of human rights, demolishing a property results in displacement of families, loss of livelihood, and of course destruction of shelter without warning. So in the judgment, the Supreme Court has said that a formal process of demolition has to be done, like giving a notice, say 15-day notice as required by the law. Also, the court has said this judgment is not applicable for the properties which are deemed illegal, which come under the public spaces like the roads or public parks and etc. So it is only in these cases where the person accused of a crime, that individual's property is being damaged. For the overall integrity of India and to honor the diversity of India, these kind of actions very clearly sow seeds of division, unrest, and long-term social instability. Those children who are not accused and their family homes are demolished, certainly they are not going to have a goodwill towards the law, towards the officials of the government. In a very big picture, if you see, as idea of justice, the bulldozer justice had shaken the very faith in the legal system, and it is the legal system, the strength of the legal system, that actually makes the country strong. I am very happy that the Honorable Supreme Court has taken the cognizance of this long pending issue where the officials were taking law in their own hand, and the Supreme Court did warn that next time such action is taken, the officials have to pay the cost of damages by their own salary. So very clearly the boundaries have to be set, the legal process has to be honored, and I am very happy to say that the Supreme Court has taken care of the rights of the citizen, rights of the alleged criminal, rights of an innocent citizen too. On that happy note, I conclude my discussion today. See you next week with another important issue about India. Bye for now.
Everything's fine on 93.9 Dublin South FM.